Hey, if you're a procrastinator like me, you probably haven't filed your taxes yet. Yes, I know this is embarrassing, but even I haven't filed my taxes yet. So, if you're stressed out about all the nuances involved with reporting the gains and losses from your crypto and trying to get all that information pulled together, you feel like maybe you're running out of time, no worries, because today I'm going to show you how to file an extension for your taxes so that you can give yourself 6 more months to pull all of your information together. All right, so first things first, I don't know if you've ever filed an extension before, but if you haven't, filing an extension will allow you to file your tax return on October 15th, 2018 instead of April 17th. I mean, you can file it anytime between April 17th and October 15th, but it just gives you that extra 6-month leeway so that you don't have to stress about getting everything in the next, 3 or 4 weeks. Filing a tax extension will give you a ton of extra time to help you gather all of your tax documents, educate yourself on crypto taxation, and then calculate what your real gain or loss is from your crypto investments. There is a catch though. Filing an extension only extends your filing deadline. It doesn't extend the payment deadline. So this means that if you think you're going to owe taxes this year, you still need to make a payment by April 17th. If you don't, you may be subject to interest and penalties. So do your best to pay as much as you can with your extension so that you don't get these interest and penalties. All right, so you're probably thinking, okay, well, how do I know if I owe taxes? And if I do owe taxes, how do I know how much I owe? Well, this is kind of a tricky one because in order to avoid penalties, you need to pay 90% of what you owe with your extension. But if you don't know how much you owe, how are you supposed to know what 90% of your tax bill is? If you're not used to doing tax calculations, the question to this can be pretty tricky. But luckily there are some tools out there to help us. So I'm going to show you how to use TaxCaster, which is very easy to use and can help you estimate your tax bill. All right, so to get to TaxCaster, just go to Google, type in TaxCaster. And there it is, the first one. So you click on it, and there you go, get started. So it'll ask you a few questions. So what's your marital status? So let's just say I'm single. Are you head of household? If you don't know what this is, you probably aren't it, so just press no. What's your age on December 31st? I was 25. What were my 2017 taxable wages? So in order to get this information, you need to have your W-2 out, assuming that you receive most of your income from a W-2. So I just pulled up a sample one right here that we can use. So if you look in box 1, you'll see what your total wages were. Mine were $48,500. So enter that in there, $48,500. What were my 2017 federal withholdings? So if you look in box 2, you'll see what your federal withholdings are. Mine were 6835. 6835. Continue. Any state withholdings. So then we go down here to box 17. And if you're in one of those states that has local income tax, like here we see there's $750 of local income tax, you'll have to add those two together, but most states don't have it. Just if you do, make sure you do that. So let's add 1535 plus 750 from box 17 and 19, and 2285 is our total there. So state withholdings 2285. Continue. So select all that applied to you in 2017. So just for simplicity's sake, I'm not going to go through all of these. In your own situation, you definitely want to, but since we're speaking specifically to crypto, we're only going to go over that one. So if you have crypto, which is probably why you're watching this video, you'll want to click on Have Investments. Continue. So what were your short-term gains and losses? If you've used Bitcoin.tax, CoinTracker, or another software, you might already know this number, but if you don't, you're going to have to make your best estimate. So short-term gains and losses are gains and losses that you've incurred from either selling, trading, or using cryptocurrency that you've held for less than a year. So let me walk you through an example. Let's say early this year, I bought, let's say maybe 20 Ethereum for $20 each. So my cost basis in my Ethereum is $400. And I kind of just held on to it. But then in June and July, it started going up a ton. And I traded a bunch of my Ethereum for altcoins. And let's say I spent all of my Ethereum, and the price of the Ethereum between June and July was maybe like $250 to $350. So let's just say for average, it was about $300. So then I take my $300 that I traded this Ethereum at, and there was 20 Ethereum. I got rid of all of it. So $6,000 was my total proceeds, and our original basis was $400. So I had about a 5,600 short-term gain. So let's put that in. Continue. All right, so now long-term gains. So let's say that back in like 2013, I bought 5 Bitcoins for $200 each. So my cost basis in these Bitcoins is $1,000. And then let's say, this year it hit $7,000. I'm like, there's no way it's going any higher than that. So I wanted to cash out on that, and it was $7,000. Again, I had 5 Bitcoin. I got $35,000. Awesome. So, I wish I would have waited till it went up to 19,000, but hindsight, 2020. So, $35,000 gain, and our original basis was 100,000 from when we 1,000 from when we bought it. So we subtract that out, and our long-term gain was $34,000. And again, this is very important to separate your short-term and your long-term gains because they're taxed at different rates. So if you've held it for over a year, it's long-term. If you've held it for under a year, it's short-term. So, okay, $34,000 is my long-term gain or loss. Taxable interest, for these purposes, I'm just going to put 0, dividends, 0. If you receive tax forms that have these, you can add these here, but for crypto, these are just 0. Continue. Do you have health coverage for the entire year? Yes. So it looks like I'm going to owe around $5,000. I don't know why it says refund here, because if we scroll down here, it shows that we owed $4,935. So ignore the wording here. We owe about $4,935. So I think I'm going to make about a $5,000 extension payment just to be safe. All right, so how do you file an extension? It's super easy. You just need to file Form 4868, and there's a few ways you can do it, so I'm going to walk you through them. The first way is to just print out the form online, fill out your information, and send it in through mail. Or if you're like me and you hate going to the post office, you can e-file an extension and just do it online. It's super easy. Or if you're working with an accountant, you can ask them and they can easily file it for you. Or if you're using your own tax prep software like TurboTax or something like that, you can file it through their software, and it's super easy as well. So I'm just going to walk you through each of these to help you decide which one will work best for you. All right, so for the mail option, just go to Google and type in Form 4868. All right, click on the first one. And just to make sure you got the right form, make sure it says 2017 in the corner and you got Form 4868. And then you scroll down, and you're just going to want to print this out, and so you'll fill this in according to your information. So your name, address, social, spouse's social, you put all that in. You can ignore these boxes up here. And then where it says estimate of total tax liability for 2017. So we're going to go back to our TaxCaster that we had and scroll down here where it shows estimated amount owed. Click on this arrow, and this shows you a little brief summary of your tax situation. So your taxable income was $77,700. Regular taxes was $11,770. So that's where we put in box 4, $11,770. And then total 2017 payments. So we'll go back to here. Our total payments were $6,835. So $6,835. Balance due, so you subtract one from the other. 11,770 minus, what was the number? 6835. So that was the 4,935 that we calculated. So yes, that looks correct. We put the numbers in right. 935. And that you're paying. So like I said, I think I'm going to pay about $5,000 just to be safe. If you overpay, you'll get a refund, so there's no worries. And if you underpay, you might be subject to interest and penalties. So I like to always go a little bit higher than what I estimate. Check here if you're out of the country. If you are, I guess check it. If not, don't worry about it. And yep, you're done. So print this out and stick it in the mail. If you go to the very last page of the instructions here, it shows which state you're in and then where you need to send your payment. So just look here. Make sure you send it to the correct address, and you're good to go. That's honestly all you need to do. All right, so now we're going to go over e-filing your extension. So in order to do that, there's a few different services you can use, but one I like, it's called freetaxusa.com. All right, so this is what the home page looks like. So we're not going to work on a return right now. So we're going to go to products and pricing and click on tax extensions. And then here it says start your free extension. Then you need to create an account. So I'm just going to skip this and let you create your account. So after you filled in your information and signed up, it'll take you to this page that gets you to start filing your extension. So we'll just start continue. And then you need to put in all your personal information. I've just put this in so you don't have to watch me type this in. And then you're going to choose your filing status. So single, save and continue. Are you a paid preparer? If you're doing this yourself, then no, save and continue. And then the estimate of tax liability. So remember before, if we go to the TaxCaster again, our tax liability is $11,770. And what did we pay already? That was $6,835. 6,835. Save and continue. How much would you like to pay? So yes, it says right here $4,935. It matches what we have over here on TaxCaster. But like I said, I think I'm going to pay about $5,000. Save and continue. And it says this is the extension summary. Just confirm that everything on there looks correct. Continue. Would you like to make a federal extension payment using your debit card? I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. So yes, save and continue. Then you're going to put in your information, press continue, and they'll submit it for you. That's all you need to do. If you don't want to use this free Tax USA website to make your payment, you can also just do it directly on the IRS website. So you can go back to here, personal, direct debit payment. Would you like to make it? No. Save and continue. Congratulations, it looks good. You can now proceed with your extension. Continue. Save and continue. Would you like to e-file your federal extension with the IRS? Yes. Save and continue. Now they just need your signature. Continue. And then you press send extension when you're ready to send it. So again, like I showed you, it's super easy. And as I mentioned before, you can just make your payment directly through the IRS website if you don't want to make it on this free Tax USA website. So let me show you how to do that. You just go to irs.gov/payments. And it'll take you to this website. So pay your taxes now. Do direct pay. If you do debit or credit, there's like a 3% fee, I think. So I just like to do direct pay. It's totally free. Make a payment. And when it says reason for payment, you're going to want to choose extension. And just make sure that everything looks good. A payment applied to 4868. That's the form we've been doing for extension purposes. And make sure the year is 2017. Continue. Do you want to make this extension payment? Yes. Okay, and then here you just need to put in information from a previous year's tax return so that they can verify you. If you've never filed a tax return in the past, unfortunately you won't be able to use this system. But if you filed last year, you'll be able to put all your information in, they'll match up who you are, and then you can start making your tax payments here. So yeah, that's just kind of how you make your payments, and that's how you do that whole process. All right, well, that's it for extensions. Hopefully you learned how to file your Form 4868. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at CryptoTaxGirl or just shoot me an email right there at cryptotaxgirl@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.